straight. Caught up in the games they play. High-speed chases gone awry. Serious turns into pie in the sky. Just out of jurisdiction. Laughter and a conviction. Beneath the badge in this guided fiction.
Got all that out of my system.
You got that out of your system now? You good? All
You'll
right.
have to let me know how close I can get to the mic.
You should be
I've got
all
a
right,
complex
as long as
over
you're,
it.
as long as you're
As long as you don't smack a table. I like that.
don't
Heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Well, I got shamed by a federal judge one time because of that. So
Oh, really?
I've got a complex, yeah.
Oh,
It was during COVID. We had those masks.
oh
And
yeah.
I was testifying.
He's Darth
I guess I
Vader
was
over
too
there.
far back. And he was
We can hear you.
yeah, you need to get a little closer.
Ah, you're
of course,
good.
I got right
If
in
you
the
can hear
mic.
yourself, if you can hear yourself, you're good.
Yeah.
So
I noticed in the last one with Josh, I was kind of like, I would turn and talk to him so it wouldn't hit it, or I'd be back. But I also had the flu.
these are fairly multi-directional, so they'll catch.
Sorry, Josh, for giving you the flu.
Oh, so you got the flu now?
Nah, but I'm just sure I'm
Still
always.
spreading disease.
You are.
I am.
Yeah, you are patient zero.
I have given a lot of people COVID and whatnot. So, whatever.
COVID,
COVID.
the clap.
No. No. I don't know. All right, let's do this.
All right, guys, we're back with another good episode for you. We got one I've been waiting on for a while now. I've got plenty of stories with this guy. Plenty of stories that we probably can't tell either.
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot of stories.
Do we got
got-
the beep out button on names and stuff? Can
We're
we?
not redacting anything.
Ah.
Yeah, that's for losers.
Exactly.
This guy's probably one of the best supervisors I ever worked with, as far as policing goes. Got a lot of respect for him. He definitely matched my leadership style as far as how that goes, and I learned a lot from him, good and bad probably. But without further ado, we've got Jake Borman here with us.
Yeah, Jacob. I know that he's only been mad at you like once. He called me, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill Flash. But
Yeah,
that was,
well, I probably deserved
Which
it.
time was that?
that's the timing. The only one time you called me, and I was like, oh, well, I'll come talk to him. I think he got a suspension over that one. Not bringing up bad times.
Well, secretly, I was laughing about that.
It was, yeah. That was, you mean
gotta put on a brave
you
front.
mean my vacation?
Your vacation you took,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I told him. It's going to be a vacation for that guy.
You will have that on those big jobs.
Whatever it takes. No, man, sorry. Sorry to bring up bad times.
I don't think it was a bad time for him.
No, I enjoyed it. It was a good time off.
I'll start this by Jake. I guess on night shift you rode with me. I was your training officer for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, he was so quiet. We just driving around and be like, hey, I'm going to let him lead this conversation what we need to go. He did not. I was like, we get back there to the
Takes me a
building.
while.
Yeah.
I'd be like, they'd be like, he talked to you? I was like, no. I said, I don't think he likes me.
He's mute.
He's a mute. I don't think he liked me, but that's beside the point. He just didn't have a lot to say until we got to know you, and then you're like, man, let's got hush. And I was just kidding. Yeah, I remember
I
Doug.
get that a lot.
Doug Thomas was like, man, did he talk? I was like, not really. But I was like, he does his job. He knows what he's doing.
Well, I think Doug slept half the time when I rode with him.
That's
so.
true. You didn't. And I was not like that. I would just stay away and be like, hey.
He would sleep. I could see that.
Until I touched the radio,
Yeah, don't leave it.
coast to coast.
Oh, yeah, don't
yeah.
touch
If
the
I
coast.
tried to turn to something else,
Yeah.
Well, the thing about coast to coast is it was, at Doug's age, he was a huge, still is, I'm sure, loved rock, like new rock stuff. Like he was a big Linkin Park guy. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And when they were still touring back in the day, when what's his name was still with them, we talked about going down to like New Orleans or Tampa or somewhere and watching them. But I was like, you like Lincoln Park? Because, I mean, that was like my Marine Corps or my Army days song when they first come out. And we jammed that when we was in Belgium doing doing the Lord's work over there.
Fighting terror
in Belgium.
Molested sandbags.
had a rough go there.
It was a tough tour. And dang Moroccans would come after you, though. They had us scared to death that the Moroccans, because I guess apparently Moroccans were I don't know, some were, I guess, Muslim or whatever. But I guess they have more street gangs. So we went up to Brussels, and when we got back, these people that were stationed at this little place were like, the MPs come up and said, "Did you have any interactions with the Moroccans?" We were like, "What? This is not Morocco." I was like, "Huh?" So apparently they were bad people. I don't know that.
Well, if you deployed with Daryl Zanuck.
Oh yeah, that was the greatest.
You saw plenty of combat then.
Yeah.
Me and him got in the greatest. I don't know if he'll come on, but I'll tell you this one right quick. He was just anxious, ready. He was a ticking time bomb when we got closer
the best
to the
description
end.
of him. Yeah.
When we got, especially the longer we got there, if you come in drunk, acting a fool, he'd tell you one night. I told these guys the night before, I said, y'all better keep it down. I said, we're going to fight. And they came in slamming lockers, carrying on. And Alan Harris was up there trying to get them calmed down. I didn't see Alan Harris because I was getting up. I was like, oh, gosh. I was like, I better not put flip-flops on, my shower shoes. I was like, I better put on my Go Fasters.
Lace them up.
Lace them up.
Pretty
Daryl's like, you
rules.
going? I said, yeah. He said, hang on. He starts getting ready. I was like, oh, no. He kicked the door on that. I thought it came off the hinges. He came in there like a SWAT team and started snatching people. I was like, I wasn't sure I was going to go that route, but here we go. It was 2 on 4, maybe 5. And he was cleaning that place up.
I don't doubt it.
So when we come back into the room. We lay back down, and they were over there talking about it. You know, you could hear them talking. They sniffling and crying.
A bunch of jerks.
I have more respect for them than that. Shut up! You know, like,
Yes,
we're
sir.
coming back over.
Yes, sir.
You got that. It was classic. There's more Belgium stories.
And then he went over there and peed in their boots.
I don't know. I mean, we did have a phantom pisser. Not that one. I don't know who it was. There were several. When I first joined the National Guard, my first thing I ever did with them was over at Fort Knox. And I get over there, get in my rack. Finally, because it was late, I get over there, and here comes this guy in and just starts peeing all over my rucksack, man. So I get up, I'm like, what are you doing? And he was just dead asleep. So, I mean, there is a ghost that possesses these people to make them pee all over everybody. So I've had that problem. See, I've been possessed by this thing.
Yeah, got you.
There was more people peeing in the corners of places. I was like, what is wrong with this place? And then,
Was it you that knew the guy that was his parents were in the circus or something?
oh yeah,
He had night terrors.
oh my gosh, that's
That
scary.
was probably the funniest story.
So.
Yeah, I've not heard this one.
Oh man! So we're getting ready to deploy to scary Belgium. You know, the front lines of the war on terror. You know what? We didn't even go. 9/11
Still get
just
that
happened.
GWAT badge.
9/11 had just happened in 2000. We get deployed like December of 01, and we ship out on like January 02.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down at Fort Stewart, Georgia. You ever been down there? Did you?
I've
do
never
it?
been to Fort Stewart. No.
It's just it's outside Savannah, nice area, but it is just
trashy.
It's trashy. I mean, it's what you think of a
That's what I've always heard.
military base. It's just, and what they put us in these old World War II barracks. They were open squad bay, which is fine. That was like, when I was in Marine Corps boot camp, that was kind of the same setup.
Yeah.
Well, they had bathrooms that they're like toilets, and the sinks where you brush your teeth and were maybe 3 feet in front of that. So you'd be sitting on the toilet.
What's up?
Open toilets, and sit there with your buddy, like, hey, pass that paper over here.
Hold my
With guys butt naked right in front of you, brushing their teeth. You're like, staring at their buttholes and stuff. It's great times, man. It was
That's
just
where
weird.
the guy at Maps got his start.
I don't know. So
Still traumatized from that.
It was awful, man. This was awful. Anyway, one night. All right, so we did our AT there, which is whatever that means. In the summer, we went to Fort Stewart, annual training. And I'd went on that trip, and there was this wild-looking, looked like the Bandicoot or whatever. It's on like the hedgehog type looking thing. There was some kind of ring-tailed
Bandicoot?
Yeah, well, that's what we named it, the Bandicoot. We didn't know what it was. So
Was it a badger?
I don't know, man. They got some.
Could have been
creatures.
anything
It could have
down
been.
there.
It could have been a shapeshifter. I don't know. So this is before Skimwalker. Anyway, we saw that thing, and there's alligators everywhere down there. There's bandicoots and craziness, right? So we're having to sleep, and it's January, but we still had to sleep with them doors open because you had all these people in there, and they're all snoring there, and we've been training all day. And this guy and his parents were, I think, in the circus. I think you're right about that. And anyway,
Yeah, I didn't forget this story.
we're in there. It's like midnight. We trained all day. It was like whatever. And this guy rose out of it. I mean, he starts screaming in the night, and it was. I swear to you, man, there was like 3 different voices coming out of this guy. I said, it's got him. The devil is in there. This guy, the Bandicoot, and the Bandicoot got him. The Phantom Pisser got him, and just whatever's in the water down there in Fort Stewart. And I'm telling you, that he's and little our sergeant was in there. He does he was in Ranger. He has a Ranger tab. He did a Ranger roll out of that bed. It's like, what's going on? And you couldn't hear a peep. There's 70 people in this barracks, and you don't hear nothing. But the one sergeant trying to get him, like, what's wrong? Because he was like staying on the bottom bunk, so he's freaking out. Like, what is it? And I'm laying there. Everybody's quiet. Nobody's moved. 5 minutes goes by, and he's right in the rack next to me. He said, Travis. I don't say nothing. I just pull my blanket up over my head. He said, Travis. I'm like, finally, he's like, I said, what? And he said, what was that? I said, I don't know. But if you lay real still, maybe it'd go by. Scared me to death. And he stayed, and when we got to Belgium, he was in the room right across from me. He pulled a spoon on me one time. I thought,
He's going to shank you with a spoon.
yeah, he was mad. He'd been, I don't know, somebody ate his food, and we was just like, go to bed, bud. We got it. We'll replace it or something. We was in there. We'd play rook and drink margaritas. It was a weird time. Weird combo. But anyway, he comes up from downstairs, and he's, I don't know, he's like, who ate this? And we were like, man, just go to bed. We got it. And he turns around, he pulls his spoon up like I was like, you going to spoon with me? What is going on? So I don't know. It was great. He actually a really good guy, but it was funny. It was funny times now. But that Bandicoot got a hold of that guy, and it scared me to death. I didn't know if a
The blankets saved you.
Huh?
Those blankets saved you.
Heck yeah, they're magical. It never bothers. But after that, all 70 guys got up and went to the head in there, whatever they call it, latrine in the Army. It was peeing. It's like, what in the world's going on? Everybody was scared to pee out of every one of us.
I don't know, group up.
And we had to wait in line. It's all open. Oh man, there's nothing more humbling than the Army. Am I right? Like boot camp, and like I was in the Marines, and it's all open showers, all they do inspections like that. It's like you get over a lot of stuff real quick. Like, hey,
You get real used to full frontal nudity,
man.
real quick.
it is. You're like, hey, wow, impressive.
Made me feel bad about myself.
This is my rifle. This is my gun.
That is a bazooka, brother.
I face the corner over here.
I just got out of the pool.
It's cold out, guys.
Oh my gosh, they would send up. I remember in the Marines, it was hot when I first got down there, and they would turn on those sprinkler things, those misters that you cool down under. That was nice. But then they would send advanced party. Like the road guards would go in and turn on all the showers. Some of them would turn on hot, some of them were straight cold, and they called it a PT shower. So you undressed and you just grabbed your towel and no soap. You just walked under and got the salt, the sweat off of you, just a circle, and came in and got dressed and went chow. It was crazy. Very clean.
Yes.
It's a wonder that when I got staph infection, about lost my foot down there. I can't believe. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I can't see why.
Are you sure you weren't in prison?
I think I was.
He was the only Marine class to go through Guantanamo.
It was crazy, man. I don't know if I've told many military stories in here, but I had some times. I'm kind of waiting on J-Mac to talk about some stuff when he picked me up at the airport, but I don't know. I know you had some. You did some cool stuff, and your front lines were maybe a little different than mine.
Well, I was tricked into that. I found out real quick when I got to boot camp how I was tricked. Because I went to the recruit. I knew I was going in anyways after high school because I wanted to be the funny guy in high school, That's how that turns out.
High achiever.
But I went to the recruiter. I was like, I just want to shoot guns and play with bombs. So he pops in the VHS there. And then it's guys in ghillie suits and dune buggies and dirt bikes. And I was like,
That's it.
That's me right
Sign
there.
it up.
That's me right there. So it was like the first day in boot camp after like the shark attack. We're standing out there in the rain and drill sergeant comes out. Who all's here because of the recruiting video? We all raise our hand. He's like, we haven't had that stuff in the military since the 80s.
That was Vietnam.
You got it.
Tricked me.
We've riding motorcycles.
So I never got to see any of that stuff.
It's a shame. They got you. I don't know. So how long was you in?
4.5 years.
Now you were stationed up in Alaska, right?
Yep.
That had to be cold.
It's awful.
Where
I think I got off the plane. I was stationed in Fairbanks. When I got off the plane, it was like -30.
Fairbanks is above like Mount McKinley. Like you got to go past it, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Mount McKinley.
I was going to call it Denali,
yeah.
but Trump's changed the name back, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about halfway between Anchorage and Fairbanks.
Yeah.
Denali is, yeah.
So you have to like fly over it kind of through the valley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's quite a ways up there.
Yeah. My dad and mom went up there, and my dad's a pastor, and he almost took a church up there. They were really close, right in Fairbanks.
Yeah.
It's
different.
It was, they talk about coming out, like it'd be like negative, they'd have that -20, whatever, and it would warm up to like 15, everybody'd be out in shorts and T-shirts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got so used to the cold. We got into snowboarding, and they would shut down the mountain at -20. So we would get up and check the weather. If it was -19, we'd go snowboarding all day.
Wow. It was a nice
that's
warm
awesome.
day.
So, yeah, that was a warm day.
Did you see any crazy stuff like bears or anything?
No, not really. Not any bears. The most dangerous thing in Fairbanks is the moose.
Yeah.
And they were all over base, so you'd be running around in doing PT, and you'd have to dodge moose.
But we had, I was stationed down at Pendleton in California, San Diego County, and we had giant buffalo, the buffalo free, just roaming. And all of Pendleton, like all of California, was like, wild animal preserve. So we had, I saw a rattlesnake one time that was probably 12 foot long. Scared me. I was like, it's coming after me. I knew it. And it was, and I'm scared to death of snakes because of that snake. It was huge. I was like, oh my gosh, it had like rattles. And this guy stops. Where our little area was right before you went out the Naval Weapons Station. So it was the back gate, basically. It was close to main side, but they had a big Naval Weapons Station. And this guy stops. He's crossing the road, and this guy stops. He's like, I'll get that out of the road. I said, you're going to die. And that thing curled up and did that wild, how they stand up and go side. I was like, oh, Lord. And our gunner, we had chief warrant officers that would be like, that were our platoon commanders. He's like, leave that alone. We've called the animal control. And this guy comes out, and man, he was like, holy cow, I'm not seeing one that big. I said, gosh. He gets a big snare, and I swear to you, it was the biggest thing I've, as far as snake wise. I was like, it rivaled anacondas.
Even boot camp?
No. No, nothing. No, there was.
You mean prison?
No, those were not that big. That snake wasn't that big. But good Lord. And I'm sure they bit too. I was like, I'm no part of none of that.
So this fast forwarding into Jake's career here, I've got to tell this story before I forget it again. But we got a complaint of a copperhead over at one of the hotels.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Jake,
this was after you were bit too, wasn't it?
yeah.
So he was immune.
I'm immune. Yeah, I'm immune to copperheads now.
Yeah, I remember you wouldn't police them then because Doug, I don't know, I came and saw you at the hospital.
No, yeah. If you've never been bit by a snake, it's not something I recommend. It's not fun at all. It was terrible. but yeah, we went over and they swore up and down that it was a copperhead. So we get there and it's a cow snake. It's just one of the, or a rat snake or something. It's non-venomous. But I saw it and I was like, well, that's not a copperhead. I'll just get it for them. They're like, okay, get it. Jake's right behind me, I pull out my asp. I go to grab it. I've got it. It's underneath a chair out there. I pull it out. I turn around and say, see? And Jake's nowhere to be found. He'd already gotten it. He went back to his cruiser and laid up.
I don't care what kind of snake it is. That's instant death.
Yes. Yeah, that's.
I had a trooper do that to me. It was right after I first got certified with my K9. A trooper up in Jackson County had arrested a guy, put him in his back seat, and went back in this house. And when he came back out, he had kicked his back window out and ran off. So they called for a dog. Mm-hmm. So I went up there, and I get there, and he's like, yeah, he's ran off on this mountain somewhere. So I get out, and we're tracking for like an hour. Guy was long gone. When we get done, I put up my dog. He's like, man, we're lucky. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, that mountain is ate up with rattlesnakes. I was like, I'm out, man.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't tell me that first.
No bueno.
Oh, if you'd told me that first, I'd have loaded it right back
we're
up.
good, but that guy's gone.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Snakes.
I respect them now, but I don't fear them at all.
You had like 3 fang marks in yours?
So the only thing that I can figure,
3 fanged copperhead.
The only thing I can figure is that it either punctured one fang, went through and through, and curled up, or it tried to double fang me, like tried to bite me twice while it was still attached.
You stepped on it, didn't you?
Yeah, I stepped on it. So I was up at Mom's, and I was just walking out, had flip flops on, walked out the front door, and it had I guess it was 4th of July, and it had been raining. And the fireworks and the rain, I guess, had brought it back up, and it was sitting on one of the welcome mats. It was black.
It was just trying to enjoy the
just
fireworks.
Hanging out, yeah, just hanging out. And Didn't turn on any lights or anything because who thinks a snake's going to be sitting on your welcome mat when you walk out?
I do now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I look now. Yeah, every time. I don't walk outside
We'll
without
do a
turning the
double
light
take
on
now.
first. But yeah, I stepped out and it's like, felt like I stepped on the water hose. And I was like, well, I know there's not a water hose there. And about the time it registered what I'd stepped on, wham, I was hit. And I don't know. I mean, if I'd have been in an NBA combine or an NFL combine, I'd have broke the record for vertical on that one.
I remember.
I jumped and screamed. And Josh could probably talk about this too, because Josh was our neighbor then. And because he said that I just heard somebody yelling, "I've been bit!"
And a weird audible.
Oh, yeah.
help me.
Oh man.
I went high pitched for a while. And then it's a moment of, well, I'm going to die.
No,
I
I'm
was not.
terrified of all
Oh,
that.
yeah, it was.
I don't care what kind
Let
of
me
snake
tell you
it is.
what not to do because I saw this firsthand when I was out there at that same spot in California. We get those little pygmy rattlesnakes. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
They're not huge. They're not the Western Diamondback. But this thing bit somebody, and they were playing with it. Of course, dumb. This other guy, I sucked the poison out. His hand swelled up like a beach ball.
Yeah, no.
I saw that live. I was like, oh.
I guess that doesn't work.
So we had to have a meeting over not.
Well,
The
Sucking
corpsmen,
the
all these
poison.
corpsmen had to come in and be like, guys, you can't suck the venom out of these snake bites. It's a myth.
yeah. So my bite was on the ankle, and I'll tell you what they do for you. They give you Tylenol and tetanus shot.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, no antivenom, nothing. Because if it's not life-threatening and you take the antivenom, you've got a 50% more chance later of it becoming or going into anaphylactic shock if you take the antivenom.
Really?
So I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. But yeah,
You got all your toes. I mean, nothing fell
all
on.
6 of them on that foot.
Getting
Yeah.
run off.
Just
I still have some issues. There's some like nerve damage or something that
so you got
over there. Yeah,
You got hit.
yeah. It wasn't fun, but
So if you'd have took the antibiotic, you couldn't ever took it again, right?
you can take it again, but it's a higher chance. Like it's more dangerous for you to take it again.
What's the odds that you get snake bit again?
I don't know.
Well,
What's
pretty
the odds?
high. He was
Yeah.
playing with that one at the hotel.
You never know. I still have the skin of that one.
Well, yeah.
The one that bit you?
Yeah.
I remember
How big was it?
Facebook throwing a fit because you had.
Uh,
Oh my gosh! I can't believe they showed that or something.
not.
I don't know.
I can't remember if it was 29 or 19 inches. It was something. It ended with a 9. It was.
Man killer either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It was a female. It was pregnant.
Oh Lord.
So not only did one die, we eliminated several more.
Crazy.
Yikes.
But also, on that same base, now Pendleton's huge. And like I said, we had these wild buffaloes. Well, you remember when the T-100, like the precursor to the Tundras, came out? We was driving to the rifle range, and this sergeant that was in my platoon hits a buffalo, like a bison, and totals his truck, and that thing walked off. So we were like, I've never seen one wild. So one night, I was on call, and I was doing vehicle recovery. So we drive out. Our pager goes off. We had to drive out, and some National Guard guys or some Marine Reserve people were on base. And I took my buddy Derek Speaker, nicknamed Dicker, and we went out, and this Cobra helicopter was doing a live fire. Unbelievable. We stopped and just watched it. It was doing, that blah, 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 and like the shells were falling down close to us. I was like, I'm going to get one. We look up, it stirred up a bison. This buffalo comes across the road and stops right in front of us. It had one of them moments there, and we're looking, and Digger says, Tatanka! I was like on Dances with Wolves and stuff. And here we are, it's like the total American moment. You got a Cobra helicopter doing live fire, and a buffalo right there. And we're just like, it was like all we needed was like a bald eagle to land on my car.
I was going to
on our
ask you if
vehicle.
you Crocodile Dundee him.
Just went out there and got its attention. Oh man, but it was cool. That's the only one other thing I've ever done more American in my life. Like, you got American might there showing its flexing its muscle on a buffalo in front of you. That's pretty American.
That is.
The only other time I was come out of the tunnels on I-40 and going into North Carolina. I swear, I look up, there's this beautiful rainbow. It just had stopped raining. And I'm like, man, that's beautiful. And a dang bald eagle flies right in between it. I start crying. That's so patriotic moment.
Double rainbow.
I called my wife. I was like, you ain't gonna believe it. She's like, are you okay? I was like, no, America. It's just beautiful.
That's why I'm going to Belgium.
I'm moving. It was fun. It was crazy. That's my times there. I'm sorry I got off track on,
That's all right.
on my military career. I know you had some. Now you went to Iraq or Afghanistan.
We were only supposed to do 12 months, but then we got extended for 4. So I did a total of 16.
Yeah,
So that was enough for me. I got out after that.
I know what it's like being on the front line there.
Do you have to do 4 years or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Did 4 years.
4-year commitment.
Yep. Came back and then went to Knox for a little bit and then got out and
You just think now
got into this.
You just think if
Once
you
again.
would have stayed in,
What a
you would have been.
mistake.
You could have retired.
I'd have been done this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'd have been done. Yeah. Retired 20 years.
So your police career started, and what year was that?
2010.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like that long ago, but quite a ways back.
In police years, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
They're a lot
We talked
dog
about
years.
that, yeah. It's like dog years. It's like 112.
All right, we'll start talking police stuff now, I guess. Unless you got some more good Army stories.
I had to sit and think about those.
Yeah, we surprised you with
So
that
long
stuff.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got plenty of crazy.
I guess we can start at the beginning
Let's-
of well, I know you've got plenty probably stories with Jordan and all them of crazy
Jordan.
stuff. But
Well, I can tell you, I think some of the best stories are probably the rookie stories. So I had just got off PTO.
Somebody signed a letter, but it's like, yeah. I remember probably writing, it's like, hey, good officer, does not talk.
Real quiet.
Real quiet.
might be a serial killer.
Haven't figured them out yet. But back then, we worked 8, so all the new guys went to second. So there was a whole gaggle of us new guys. We were all brand new. We had me and then Jordan and then Huggy.
Oh, yeah.
We get a call one night of this guy that's supposed to be drunk causing a ruckus down there at the bowling alley. So me and Huggy get down there and we're walking the guy out and I'm strutting around, I'm brand new in my sweet uniform. Well, as soon as this guy gets to the front door, he bolts. So I take off chasing this dude. Try to tase him. Obviously, it didn't work. Never does. So
Always
we get-
worked for me. You guys couldn't shoot good.
I'm definitely not batting 1,000 on tasers.
I'm not either.
I won't say I'm 1,000, but I'm in the. I'm pretty. It's pretty good.
I'm not. But we go through this parking lot, make it over to another parking lot. Unbeknownst to us, there was a sign that had a wire holding it up. Well, this guy's running full speed, hits this wire, trips, and just cracks his head. Well, I see the wire at the last second. I jump, land on this guy. So we're fighting around. Me and Huggy are fighting around with this guy. And then I hear lights and sirens. I'm like, okay, they're coming. Yeah, here comes the cavalry. Well, then I hear tires screeching and then a big crash. I look up and Jordan's getting out of his car. And he just runs over to us. And we start fighting, and we finally get this guy cuffed and we all stand up and we just look and there's just a pool of blood. That's starting from this guy where he cracked his head when he fell.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, problem number one. That's not very good. And then Jordan goes, I think I called out that I was injured in that wreck. Because he had come into the parking lot so fast. He was so amped up, being brand new.
Yeah.
He slams into a telephone pole. His airbags blow up. He said he thought he broke his arm. He's like, I called out, wreck with injury. Well, not 2 minutes later, everybody shows up. So you've got 3 brand new guys standing over this guy, blood everywhere, and a wrecked car. They thought we hit him.
Yeah. Looks like
I'm like, well, that was a short career. But I think it was Derek that showed up, and we're like, we're probably in big trouble, aren't we? Derek said, hold out your hand. He went over and smacked your hand. It's like, don't do that again.
That was the first time. I mean, I've told that story when he was here with my wreck, and I was like, Derek didn't talk to you until he knew you, kind of like you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrecked, and I was like, I'm fired. And he's like, nah, you're all right, buddy. But yeah, he must have wrecked a whole lot to reassure you. You're like, yeah, you're fine. I've wrecked 1,000 times. That's fun times. You and Jordan were always in some kind of something. Some kind of
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, it was just some kind of, they had their own little language. It was weird. They would just be laughing at stuff. You're like, what are you idiots
Well, I think
laughing at?
I think they thought we acted like that on calls. We're like, no, we're actually professional, We're answering calls.
We're just stupid in front of you
Stupid
guys.
when we're not around anybody.
Well, that's the thing. You got to be able to flip that switch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
We done good.
with that youth and that experience, inexperience really, it was fun. Y'all were having fun and enjoying it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were probably burnt out.
Oh,
and we were probably like, God, why are you having fun at work? Don't you know
Why do
this
you
sucks?
enjoy this?
Well, that's when I got supervisor. I mean, that was my big thing. I wanted the guys to have fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I think we did. I think for the most part. Yeah.
I think we did.
I think Jake ended up in the chief's office enough explaining our fun.
A lot.
A lot.
Well, it got to the point where they would call out on anything. I'd just follow them around.
Yeah.
This is going to turn into something.
Yeah, I think that's just the way it goes. I mean,
Well, we had.
you get active young
Yeah.
officers, and
We
that's just what happened.
got. We had a squad that, and we talked about this on Joey's podcast, which isn't coming out because we had technical difficulties with the
take
recorder,
two.
but we're gonna redo it. But we had talked about it with Joey and about the squad that we had, and it was full of, like you said, young guys that wanted to get out and get into stuff. So that was what we were doing every day, every night. So it was not unusual that we were into something, and really wanted to hunt dope and find dope, and that was our main frame of what we did. So
Oh, yeah.
and we got a lot of it, and we I think it was like over 9 pounds we got in that.
He kept count
He
for a
kept- yeah,
while.
Joey
It was like
kept count
9
of it.
pounds of meth, several ounces of heroin,
Yeah.
cocaine, a couple
Fentanyl,
thousand
yeah.
pills. But yeah.
It was
But I think the reason I got that squad, I think they were trying to punish me because they gave me all the shit magnets.
It turned out to be the best squad I ever worked
great.
with.
Yeah, it turned out great.
That's what it
We got
goes.
a lot done. Now I know when we first got out of the academy, me and Bert and Pat, I think maybe you had Bert, and I was with Randy, and we'd got a burglary complaint, and
Off Fifth Street.
off Fifth Street, and I was taking the report. Well, they ended up finding the guy.
Yeah, we were just checking the back roads because this guy had ran through the woods. So we were going down Falls. We turned down this little side street, and this guy just straight up Sasquatches out of the woods.
He was blurry and everything. Yeah.
There he is. Well, he jumps a barbed wire fence, goes in this field, and just starts running. I'm training Bert. I'm like, I'm about to show this guy, how we do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, get up there, We get up there. I jump out. go to hop over this barbed wire fence. Well, as soon as my foot touches the top, it comes out from under me, and I land flat on my face. So I'm laying there in the mud. I've got Bert in the car. You all right? I gotta at least, look cool now. So I just get up, and start running. I'm chasing this guy through the field. I'm hurting. I'm hurt, but I'm not showing it. Well, Bert just turns around and goes down the road a little bit, stops, and just gets out. And the guy walks straight up to him, lays down, gives up. I'm like, all that
For nothing.
for nothing.
Yeah.
It's fun times.
Good times.
Ain't nothing like falling in mud. I think everybody's done it. I know some of the work. I've ruined more pants and shoes, and that was ridiculous. Wearing that polyester stuff and those shiny shoes back in the day. Those Class A.
Yeah, you go in the woods once and ruined.
I hated wearing a Class A looks good. It looks great, but it's not practical.
They don't last long.
The type of work that we were doing. If you were just in a city, a Class A, I get it. But when you're having to go from blacktop to mud pits to fields to woods, briar thickets, it's not practical at all. No. They look terrible.
Such fun times.
Yes.
Oh, we had a lot of them.
We had one of the wildest, probably the wildest experience of my life, which also we had a lot of them, like he said, involves rookie stories. It's like when we had rookies with us of some sort, or another. And our squad had got pretty good. We'd all worked dope so much just from experience. We joked about it, but you could pretty much look at a car and be like, hey, there's dope in that car. And we were all sitting around at, where was we?
Are you talking
BP.
about Logan?
Yeah.
BP, yeah.
Yeah, so we were sitting out at BP, and this all was kind of a joke, started out. But
yeah, just messing with Logan.
Yeah, Logan was on PTO, but he was ready to be. Our PTO was way too long for he was ready to be released.
Kind of there at the end where they were like, he can drive on his own, but kind of follow him around.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, and these guys, they just keep eyeballing us, which is not unusual, but we kept looking. We're looking at it, and we look at Logan. We're like, $10 says there's dope in that car.
Yeah.
And he's like, you really think so? Yeah, there's definitely dope in that car. So he's like, all right, I'm going to go. So he jumps in his car, and they're still looking at us, eyeballing us. Well, lo and behold, with the PTO, you're kind of supposed to stay close to them. We're still, joking and cutting up over there and taking our break. The car pulls out. He's like, all right, I'm going to go follow it. Go try and stop it. Okay. Not 2 minutes later, he calls out in pursuit.
And it happened quick,
It happened quick. And then he calls out in pursuit, and we're like, which way did he go? Which way did he go? We don't.
So you've got four of us, lights and sirens just going everywhere.
All our buttholes just puckered. We're just going up. And then, so he calls out vehicle pursuit. Like 30 seconds after that, they've wrecked out. I'm in foot pursuit.
Yeah. Two bailed.
Take off. By the time we all get there, it's all quick within 5 minutes. But he's already bailed out of the car with him. We got him in cuffs. Got them all up there to the.
Yeah, by the time we showed up,
he had
him prone down.
He should have said, "You boys go back and finish up your dinner."
Yeah, he showed us all up.
He just had that grin on his face.
Oh yeah, God, he was so proud. He was proud of that. And it ended up, the car was stolen. And had dope in it.
They were like, of all the places to stop and eat.
But yeah, and it all just started out as a joke.
Well, they pulled in there. I don't know why they did.
Yeah.
Because we were standing right out front.
And then they just made it so obvious. They just kept, eyeballing us.
Just waiting on us.
Yeah.
That's when I knew Logan was going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. He
was.
Really had no issues with.
I miss that. Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
He could have been the best. He could have probably would have been one of the best.
Oh, 100%.
I remember you telling me, I was like, how's he doing? So when I was lieutenant and stuff, he'd be like, he's got it. he's got it.
Solid.
Because you know how rookie
Solid.
stuff.
Yeah.
He's solid. So
Yeah.
Well, except for they kind of had a hiccup at the search warrant.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's a good story too. So we'd done all our due diligence on a search warrant. When there, we've knocked, we've announced. Nobody's coming to the door, and it seems like there's nobody home, really. So we're just going to go in and search it. So we just got the Rams. We got those, all the Halligans and the Rams and stuff, and we was like, well, first one we get to hit with the Ram, we're going to let, the Mongoloid hit it with the Ram, because
he's a monster.
Logan was a monster.
Absolute monster. Yeah.
And he was so excited. But we put him in front, and he's like, all right. So he's like, getting ready to, I was like, what? Check, see if it's unlocked first. He reaches out, checks, and it's unlocked. He swings the door open.
He swings it open and then shuts it real quick.
Like
he
shuts
did
it back
something
real quick,
wrong.
like he wouldn't expect it. It caught him off guard. That it was. We're like, no, we gotta go in now.
Lock it right quick and shut it. I want to use this tool.
I was out in the yard. I was like, is it unlocked? He's like, yeah. Well, he rears back with that Ram, and he's getting ready to hit it. I was like, well, just go in, Logan. Oh.
Yeah.
He really wanted to use that tool.
He wanted to use it.
He finally did get to use it. Woods up there. At
I don't know if
Lane.
I've ever seen it. I mean, how 21, 22 when he first started?
He was young, yeah. Well, he'd had some time on at the jail, too, which I think
Yeah.
helped him out.
Yeah,
Because he could talk to people.
Yeah.
Absolutely, though. For that young, he was the strongest guy. I've
Him
ever
and
been
Joey together became kind of a pretty solid dope team as
yeah.
far as
Oh, yeah.
interviewing, like splitting people up and interviewing. I was never good at interviewing people. I could find the dope, but I could never. I always wanted to go straight to the point. I couldn't be your buddy, and
No, they were good at it.
yeah,
Which Joey was a freak anyways. He could sit out on the interstate and be like, yeah, there's dope in that car.
and be 100%
out of 10.
accurate. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he had X-ray vision.
He did.
I remember one night, it was like March, April, kind of cold outside in the morning. And I worked 2 nights in a row. You was probably off. So I was coming out to work that shift because we didn't want to bring another sergeant or something. Whatever, the corporal was out. Your assistant supervisors and you were out, and I was worked with Logan and you. I don't know. I can't remember.
maybe.
And it's when they was breaking in them storage buildings over there. So we almost got that guy that night. We just missed him. And then I was like, guys, I'm really struggling. I want to go. I'm out, but I'm. Apparently, they stayed off the radio and was like chasing people all over the place. I was like, why'd y'all call me? Oh, you said you wouldn't. You was kind of tired. I was like, I'm not too tired to get a car chase. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, they pretty much had free reign on
Oh,
it.
it's
Oh
bloody.
yeah.
I let them do whatever they wanted.
That was my last
Within
night shift. I worked that one, and
Well, I
then
mean, it was never,
the very
illegal
next
or
night
illegal.
we was up in stomping around in up there behind and some woods back there, looking for some guys that were cutting converters off them cars at the State Department. We was all over that place.
Yeah.
Because I had a buddy. He's like, man, they're up here. I got them on camera.
I'll have to get.
That is wild.
I'll have to get Joey to tell that story when we get him back on here. Remember when he hid in the woods, and then the guy snuck up on him?
Off South Main Street.
Yeah.
Oh, we gave him so much hell for that.
Oh man, there ain't nothing like surveillance.
Man, we did a lot of that too.
Yeah, we did a lot. We did a lot of search warrants, but we did a lot of due diligence also. We watched houses and done, we were talking beforehand. It's like I don't think most of the search warrants that we served, they answered the doors. I mean, you'd knock, announce, police search warrant, and they came to the door. So
I think it was just the one time we had to. We actually had to boot a door.
yeah,
Man, it's changed a little. That's pre probably COVID and stuff.
Yeah,
so things changed.
It was right after.
yeah, we did a
I think
lot.
it was 21, which was I mean, when the people started getting those stimulus checks, I mean, they
Bought
spent
the heck
all
out
their
of
money.
dope.
So there was big dope everywhere.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of dope coming in. A lot of pills. A lot of. I know. How many people have we Narcaned? There was that one month.
I remember
that
we
bet-
would go through waves.
Yeah.
I guess a batch of heroin would come in, or
Yeah.
fentanyl pills, or whatever, and we would have them every night.
There, yeah,
Overdoses.
it was like 30 or some overdoses that we had in like a month or something. I mean, it was one or two. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy. But on that note, I remember we got a call one night of and it'd been, we would sit up and we'd kind of had a ring of like our dope dealers that we'd watch, and we would watch, we called it jail porn, but we would watch the. There's a lot of stories about the jail porn, but we would watch when these guys would get arrested. The things that they would say to, they would get video calls with their significant others and all that, and just the information that they would give out over that, knowing that they're recorded. I mean,
Would they use code or would they just?
Sometimes it was code. A lot of times it was just they were idiots. I mean,
There'd be a progression. It's like when they first got in there, they'd use code.
yeah.
And then I guess they just get comfortable. And just,
Yeah, forget that
Nobody's
they're being recorded.
watching.
Yeah, nobody's
So
watching
we
this
would
stuff.
watch, and there was a lot of repeat offenders that we were watching, and kind of that were out in the county, and we'd watch for them in the city, and they'd have their links. But one girl that would frequently be called by most of these dope dealers, she was obviously working her way around on that, getting her dope fixed the way that she knew how. But she had called 911. Her boyfriend had overdosed during one of those bad sprees that the dope was getting cut with fentanyl and all that. So she said that she had, in an attempt to try and reverse the overdose, she had stuck ice cubes up his butthole.
That'll get you.
Foolproof.
Every time. Works every time.
When you Narcan and it shoots a frozen ice cube out of your BO, you're like, what is happening here? The marbles flying across.
Some of the stuff they think of, though.
But to go back to the jail porn.
They would tell it, like, hey,
Oh, yeah. They all
tell their buddies, hey, come over and look at this. And,
just crazy stuff you'd see on there. Just
Oh, and they'd get up on the tables and dance.
Oh, yeah. Old scalp.
It was fun.
I've never.
Show them what you got.
Show 'em what you got, cuz. This guy, he jumps up on the table. And he's still got his pants on and stuff at this point. He jumps on the table and somebody yells, show 'em what you got, cuz. He just drops trout and just helicopters.
Slinging it around.
Oh, he didn't care.
Terrible. Terrible. The things we had to sift through. You remember the Facebook that we got?
The one you had?
Yeah, the CI. Well, no, the CI that we used. She'd ordered some dope. This chick
Yes.
had ordered dope delivered to her rehab.
Wow,
And got caught. So then we worked out a deal, and she let us have access to her
I
Facebook
remember
and all
that
that,
now.
and signed over electronic whatever that waiver was that we had her sign, and then so we looked through just the amount of masturbation that I had to wade through to get to
Yeah,
actual
pee-pee
dope
pics.
deals in. Everybody's little
Constant.
PPs just constantly.
Oh, my
Ding!
gosh.
You say, oh, there's a dope. Nope, it's a PP.
Yeah.
Nope, somebody wanted to buy. Nope, that's a PP.
Fun times.
It's an odd world.
It wasn't. Yeah.
The worst is getting a child porn thing
Oh
and having
yeah.
to sift. I'm telling you,
I'm glad I never had to do any of that.
I'm glad we got to. We'd have to take that either to the Louisville and have that, up there. But that was the guys that had to do that stuff. I feel really bad for them.
Well, speaking of watching the jail videos, we actually started a case.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was 2 guys in jail that were using this 15-year-old for.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a good
We
case.
started
There
a
was
big case. I think one guy was in there for murder,
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think the other guy was in there for child porn.
Yeah, they were both in there for a long time. It was not short
So
time.
they got charged with that too.
Yeah, it's
She was 15 years old.
it's wild the cases that we solved. We had actually there was a big load of dope that we missed. One of Joey's cases, we'd missed it in the car.
Yep.
And he kept talking about it, and we ended up having to go get a search warrant on the car, and went back and found it.
At the tow lot.
Yeah, at the tow
Yeah,
lot
I
because
remember
he kept talking about it. But he did talk in code on that one, and it took us a while to find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
He was up in the dash or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
tucked up.
remember
Yeah, that was some wild stuff that we got into. We solved a lot of cases. I think me and Jake have the record for the fastest stolen vehicle recovery.
I forgot about that. We it was like 4:00 in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Because we went and got breakfast.
yeah. That's
We'd go to BP and get breakfast,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'd just go get our stuff and go back to the PD. So we went up there and got some biscuits, and we were on our way back, and they're like, "We've just got a vehicle stolen on
it
North
was a
Main.
Range Rover. Yeah.
It's a Range Rover headed north." Well, as soon as they said it, it passed us. So I flip around and light this car up.
I'm like, he's in front of me, so he flips around. We just box it in.
Flash boxes it in, gets out with his gun out, mouthful of biscuit.
Yeah, can't say a word. I can't say a word. I can't give commands. I'm just.
And sure enough, that guy just stole
Yeah.
the car from the house.
That's
But yeah, Jake's like, why were you yelling at that guy? I said, "Did you not see all the biscuit falling out of my mouth?" He's like, I was trying not to choke to death.
I had some more juice to get that down. That's funny. One of the funniest getting caught like choking or carrying on was one morning. Good old Ed Hurd
Going 10-8.
went 10-8, went on duty. Couldn't get it out because he swallowed some backer spit and got choked on it.
Hot mic'd it.
Hot box. Hacked and carried on for like 5 minutes with keyed up. You know, it'd go in and out trying to call 10-8. Yeah. They were like, "You 10-4?" I think they sent an ambulance and everything, like looking for him.
Then you get back on there, I was like, I'm choking on my back.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's
God,
classic.
I love it.
He's also, when I went into the schools, they would be like, "Now, Officer Hurd," you know, he was SRO too. And he's like, "Officer Hurd would ride them, that Segway."
Yeah, we
around."
had a Segway for a little while. It got decommissioned.
Yeah.
Apparently.
He never could get it to work.
He 46'd out.
Yeah,
That's why it
twice.
quit
Didn't
working.
he climb up the wall?
He
on it
climbed
or
up one of them. He was going through a door and they had the metal dividers in the doors, and apparently got a wheel on it and climbed up and dumped him off. And then the other time, he was down in the gym like going pretty fast, and there was video on that one. The principal wouldn't show it to me though. Apparently, he gets going, and I had a key fob type deal that you put on it. It's like magnetic.
Oh, yeah.
He'd let some other person ride around on it and didn't have the key close enough. So he takes off down the gym floor and he starts trying to stop, and he's leaned into it, you know. He got the speed wobbles on it. Wrecked all over the gym floor in front of probably about, you know, a whole
Like
class
one
or two or
That's
something.
awesome.
One of them damn wheelie boards.
But so I would refuse. Now I tried to get on it because Joe Smith and them guys, they'd ride it around up at the chicken festival. So I was like, I tried to get on it, and Danny Robinson was trying to help me on it. You know, you're supposed to, apparently you just step on and roll. Not me, man. I tried to get on that thing, it started shaking. I was like, that thing's the most dangerous thing in policing.
We tried several times to get it going, but we never could get it to
No,
work.
I couldn't. We tried, yeah. It
Yeah.
stayed down there in the building. We tried to get it going, hot wire it. And,
Probably a good thing.
yeah, somebody would have been injured.
Oh yeah, it was apparently very dangerous. But, yeah, that's funny. Funny times.
Oh, yeah.
What else you boys got?
Was it during COVID, the Whitley Street thing?
Which Woodley Street thing?
The big one. We just lost our tasers. I know that. Was that during
When
COVID?
did they? Yeah.
So
was
I think, yeah.
So this is one of the craziest, still yet the craziest probably call I've ever been on as far as, and there's so much to unpack in it. There's another rookie story, which I wasn't a rookie then, but we had rookies with us.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
And,
training.
Training one.
I was
Jake
training
was
a
training
rookie,
a rookie. And this guy, I mean, he's turned out to be an all right officer now, but at the time
I love him.
we had
We had questions.
we definitely questioned whether or not he was going to make it. But we'd got a call, and it was during COVID. We just had our tasers taken away. Not because of anything we'd done. We just didn't have the certification or something for them. Or
Something to do with money is what we were told.
yeah, it was a money thing. We couldn't buy the new version of them. They didn't use the old ones anymore. Either way, we didn't have them. So, and of course, anytime any equipment gets taken away, that's when you need it the most. Not that it probably wouldn't have worked on that guy anyways, but
I really don't know.
I don't know. So we get a call of this
We
guy.
tased him. It's the same guy.
It's the same guy. Yeah.
It worked.
So
that is right.
So yeah,
it
you
worked
all
that time.
heard
So,
about
yeah,
this
what do we
guy.
do?
We told the second part of that story
Yeah.
to Patrick and
Did
Joey was
same
involved.
same guy that they had to tase in the bathtub, and the old ketamine guy, old special
Special
K.
K.
Oh,
But
yeah.
comes out as a call, just a guy walking down the street, just unusual. He's in the middle of the
I think
road.
he was screaming.
Yeah,
Screaming in the middle of the road.
We get there. I think I pulled up first, and then you guys were behind me. So I get out, and we've got the new guy with us. So anytime you've got a new guy, it's kind of like let them go hands on first, kind of get
Get some
them
exposure.
get some exposure. So I backed off, and we was just like, just grab this guy. We'll get him out of the road, and then we'll figure out what's going on. So new guy grabs hold of him. As soon as he does, the fight's on. But
It was the oddest
it
thing.
was the audit, yeah.
Because as soon as he grabs onto this guy, it's almost like both their knees give out. And they just kind of crumple to the ground.
And they went straight to the ground on his back. Like he bear hugged him and went straight to the ground with him. But what I heard him yell, and I don't know to this day that if this is actually what he said, but what I heard was, assume the position.
I heard the same thing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
What is
I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
We have no idea.
I was never trained that way, so I don't know.
We're kind of coaching him through it. We're like,
Yeah, this guy's not really fighting at this point. He's just kind of that passive aggressive, not giving hands. He's doped up, crazy. He's on on ketamine. And he's just like we talked about. He's got the God complex right now. He thinks he's Jesus Christ at this point in time. So me and Jake jump in, and we're trying to help get arms, get him to where we can get him cuffed and everything. And I'm on one side, I'm on the other, and this other our trainee's on his back. So we're like, all right, we got to alleviate this. We're
he
rolling
jumps
him over.
down
Yeah.
on this guy and bear hugs him and then rolls over on his back with this guy on top of him. So he had to squat down. We're
That's the
like,
position.
Yeah,
You've assumed the
we've assumed the position.
this.
So we get on both sides. And Jake's like, get off your back, get off your back, and we get him out from under him, and we're throwing some knees here and there just to get him, nothing crazy, but we're just trying to get him in compliance, get him rolled over. We finally get him over there, and then he starts kicking. That's when he starts kicking at us and all this, and Jake's like, all right, somebody pull an asp. So I deploy mine. Well, the other officer deploys his too and loses it as he's deploying it, because you pull, as you're trained, when you pull, you're deploying at the same time. So it's ready and loaded by the time you're coming for a swing. So as he's coming up over his shoulder, he loses it. Well, another officer's coming up at that time, and it comes whizzing by his head.
Oh my gosh!
lands in somebody's yard.
Lands in somebody's yard.
Classic.
So me and Jake, at some point in time, I remember just looking at Jake, and we're just looking at each other like, what do we do? Like, what is going on
Well, I
here?
think at that point he started circling us.
Oh, was he circling?
We were
us?
holding this guy down on the ground, just waiting for this new guy to come over and kind of handle it. And he just starts roaming around us. We're looking at each other, just shaking our heads like, what is going on?
I don't know if he was like looking for a spot to like
Man,
pile in, but
It's so hard to know what you can and cannot do. Sometimes.
Right.
I couldn't imagine. I remember because I was in a fight pretty on FTO, training. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? So
it
takes a while.
So we end up, Jake ends up disengaging, and I go to work with that asp. And this I will never forget this, because most things don't catch you off guard, but this caught me off guard, because I'm striking this guy in the legs, trying to get him to roll over on his stomach now, and he's kicking at us and all that. But he called me a mother effer, all this, but this guy's not. He's like, I'm welling on him with this asp, and the next thing I hear is, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." I was like,
yeah, it puts you start looking up for lightning bolt.
It's like mid-swing. I'm like, I don't know about this.
This guy's calling down heaven on us. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but yeah, we ended up getting him to the jail, and then you all got to deal with it.
Yeah. One time, I'll tell you a story on that. On doing things that are surprising, like when this guy was out of his head, high and drunk, and Lodge was in there one afternoon. It was like second shift, so it was later though, but he'd come out there or whatever, former chief. And I'm like, I go pick up this drunk that's walking, no big deal. But when I get him back up to the PD, it might have been DUI. So I was going to, do PBT, do the breathalyzer and all that stuff. So he's like, so I'm having to deal with that. And I had him probably handcuffed in front. He looks at me. I mean, he's just like, I know where you live. I'm going to come burn your house. I'm going to murder it. All this. I'm like, gosh. He said, I work for Jesus and you work for hell. You work for the Satan. And I just immediately pulled out my pepper spray and sprayed him. I said, have a taste of hell right there. Lodge came out and said, he said, did you just say? I was like, oh, I didn't know you was back there. He was in the sergeant's office. He said, that was cold. I loved it.
Miss Herbie.
I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like Sam Jackson over there quoting scripture before, Pulp Fiction.
He said, I work for Satan, so I just said, well, have a taste of hell. I don't know why. I mean, he's like flipping that guy in the nose at time. I don't know where. I'm like, I don't know. I was this witty or things come out like that. I was like,
quick on your feet.
I must be.
Every now and then you get a.
When I take my ADHD medicine, I am smooth.
Every now and then you get an opportunity to unload a good one-liner.
Yeah, but I didn't know where that came from. I was just like, I gotta write these down. Keep them in my back pocket. Practice.
Well, they never work out if you try to think of one.
No. I don't know if I can't remember if we were I think it was our shift. The guy that broke into the coin laundry machines, and had his butt crack hanging out and all that. He was hiding, his butt crack was hanging out, and I finally got to use the woodliner. I said, man, that's a felony? He's like, what are you talking about? He said, I'm just over here. I said, you got 10 pounds of crack hanging out of
Been waiting years.
I was like, yes, I got to unload that one.
Check that one off the list.
Mine would usually come out more like, you eat pieces of poop for breakfast. I eat pieces of poop like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of poop for breakfast? Like I was happy or something.
They got me.
Okay.
I tried to use that one that we talked about with Joey all the time. Somebody's peeing. That's a felony. Grown man holding a little bit. It's hard.
Can't overuse them though.
No, you can't overuse them. They lose their luster.
Man, I've seen some craziness though.
Let's see. Trying to think.
I know you got more.
You can. I wasn't involved in it. I was just made aware of it. The buy bust.
Okay, yeah. We can't forget that. So I think you were there for the initial, the shoplifter.
I was there, yes.
So we had a shoplifter, started out as a shoplifter. And like I said, this squad that we had with our main, like anything we did, we were trying to link it to getting some dope somehow. Yep. So we had a shoplifter, and she's like, and and word's out at this point in time that, they'll make a deal with you if you'll roll over on somebody. So we're trying to make a deal with this chick. Red flags through this whole thing. Should have just ixnayed it right out the gate, but we were like, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna see what happens.
Well, we had been on for a few months, and one of our goals was to do a buy bust.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pushing this one.
Yeah,
we wanted it to happen.
So get a deal with her. She calls up her plug, and red flag number one. She creates the meat spot. Mm-hmm. That's red flag number one. So we lost control there.
And we knew it.
But we still went with it. So I had relatively another new officer with me too. He's still working, but he's a good officer. And it's just one of those things that he wasn't paying attention at the time. But we get there to the spot that we're supposed to meet up. And I tell this woman, she's in the, we're in the undercover vehicle. And I was like, all right, go out. Do not get in the vehicle. Absolutely. I said, whatever you do not get in the vehicle. Stay at the window, whatever, do not get in the vehicle. First thing she does is get in the vehicle. I was like, well, frig. So this is all, avalanching as we go. So I don't know what we're about to do. Because we're not 10-15 with her yet. But I think she had a warrant. I think that was Yeah, she had a warrant. So she knew she was going to jail. But we weren't going to charge her with the shoplifting and all that and her brother. I think that was a big thing. We let her brother go on that. So the first thing she does gets in the vehicle. I was like, well, this has gone south quickly. So I called the other officer. I was like, just go ahead and come up. I said, this is turned into turd soup immediately. So I just roll up there. We hit them up, and we're giving them reading them the riot act. Mm-hmm. And I'm searching the car. Well, our CI is standing at the back of the car with the other officer, my cover officer. So I'm searching the vehicle, and occasionally as I'm searching the vehicle, I like to look up through the back window and make sure everybody, nobody. I look up through the back window, and I see the other officer, but I don't see her. And I was like, hey, where'd she go? And I see her running up the hill behind the dollar store. So I have to chase her. I have to chase her through this briar thicket to get her, and she just took off running on us while we were searching the car. But
that's hilarious.
To make it even worse,
so it gets worse.
Yeah, we never found any dope. No dope. So I'm taking her to jail, and she is high as a kite now because whatever dope she straight up played us.
Jumped straight in the car and
straight up played us on that one. She knew she was going to jail, so she got her a fix before she got in. And we facilitated all of that.
Yeah, it's one of those I get the phone call after, like, it didn't go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like this turned into somebody pooped in the punch bowl quickly.
Yeah. I keep coughing. I'm getting over this flu or whatever.
You've had the flu for
this one's
2 years now.
So back in early in my SRO stuff, me and Joe Smith decided to do a 21 Jump Street, and we had a kid get some dope and told us about it. So I tell Joe, I was like, are we allowed to do bust or drug deal bust at school, like a buy bust type deal? He said, yeah, I think so. So we cleared it. I don't think you're allowed to now, but back then it was okay. We was like, So we decided to try it. Get this kid. I was like, we got cameras all over schools. Mm-hmm. So we don't really need a whole lot of surveillance stuff. I was like, just make sure, whatever you do, stay out in the hall, make this happen. Little marijuana. We just trying to clean up the schools, right? That's it. First thing the kid does was go straight in the bathroom and make this happen. Comes back and says, I got it. I was like, yeah, well, we got nothing, bro. I was like, Joe's like, what was rule number 1? We only have one rule.
Yeah.
Like, stay in the hallway so we can use our cameras to make sure it's happened. But that's what you get when you're dealing with, they were both 18, so that's why we thought we could do it, but they were still high school kids. I was like,
I mean, and it was like that situation. We knew
stupid.
We knew it was going downhill, but we was like, we're just going to try it anyway. So.
Yeah. I was like,
so
how that ends up is I take the kid, I have nothing on anybody. I don't see it go down. We don't have nothing. Not a very credible thing. We didn't sign nobody up for nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of them deals. We're trying to clean up the schools real quick because we'd had some problems. So I just go to the kid. I'm like, I know what you did. You better stop it, or we're coming at you. I threatened him about stuff. He straightened up though. I think he joined the Marines or something. So
good. We got him off that devil's lettuce.
Crazy. But yeah, we had some stupid stuff.
We've had some wild calls too. I know.
No, I gotta go. You know where? I drank 2 bottles, and I can't hold nothing. Oh no!
I know.
Y'all keep going.
What was it? The Reams. We had the guy with was a domestic holding a woman hostage with a gun.
I don't know if I remember that one. With a gun?
Yeah, that's the one where the same officer from Whitley Street was.
Oh yeah. It was down at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah. So, so we get a complaint. It's a domestic, but there's a gun involved. Female's supposed to be held against her will. All that good noise, And it's not very often that when you respond to something that you get to deploy with a rifle. Your sidearm is usually what you deploy with.
Yeah.
So we chose to deploy. I deployed with a rifle. I think another officer deployed with a rifle, and we go on foot to surround this trailer where he's supposed to be holding this woman hostage. Well, I hadn't chambered around. We keep everything in cruiser carry. I hadn't chambered around yet because we're running down there to where we get, and we get surrounding this trailer, and I chamber around. Well, the other officer, which I didn't hear it because I was on the other side, so I'll let you tell that part of it.
Well, it started off weird because as soon as we got out, I guess he was trying to move tactically, and he was doing some weird crab walk. We're just strutting down the middle of the street. Well, he hears somebody chamber that AR. He about passed out on me. Oh my God, they've got an AR. I'm like, chill, dude. I mean, that's one of our guys. Relax.
Yeah.
You're fine. But he about passed out on me. I mean, you could see him visibly get weak in the knees. He almost went down on me.
Yeah. Yeah, all I know is I chambered around, and then you were laughing after we left. It's like, man, he about crapped his britches when you racked that rifle.
It's so much fun messing with rookies.
Well, yeah, and on that note,
I love it.
So we had heard that his house clearing techniques were super weird, which they ended up being.
Which goes back to the crab walk.
Yeah, which they ended up being what
the academy was
teaching. I went to an active shooter training, and I was like, "That's exactly what they're teaching now." So
yeah, he was right.
He was right.
It was just weird looking to us. We've just never seen it.
But we never seen it. They didn't give us the update.
We were just kind of messing with him and wanted to see how he cleared a building. So we set up this. He didn't know it was fake, but it was an alarm, and we set it up on this building we knew was vacant, and one of the other officers had been riding around with a mannequin's head in his passenger seat for like a week now. So we got this bright idea that we were going to hide it in a room and see if he was, gun shy enough to shoot the mannequin head when he opens the door. He ended up doing really well as far as clearing the house. So I mean, we were, after that.
We were pleased, but kind of disappointed that he didn't shoot.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed that he didn't shoot the mannequin. But yeah, that
We had some fun though.
is a long, long road.
You know, and I love him. I hope nothing but the best for him.
Yeah.
No, he turned out good.
Yeah, he did.
Uh-oh.
Mama's calling. So, I'll tell you a story on him. It was hilarious. So, we were kind of doing some checks on all the new guys' tactical skills. Me and Jesse were. I was a DT instructor, and so always checking, see, because we hadn't seen this stuff and what they were doing. More jujitsu, more different things that we weren't used to. So, I came from the old school PPCT, which is pressure point control tactics. So we have that.
Is this the pressure point story?
So we're doing this. So I was like, hey, there's other ways if you need to get a guy off of a bar stool instead of going up and doing like a lat drop on somebody or something like that. I said, there's pressure points that, you put a little pain compliance behind somebody on a pressure point, they're going to move. And so I talked to him about that, and all of them, not just him, all three rookies. And, I taught Krav Maga and I taught some other stuff, and I was just like, here's some other tools. Well, we still use these things. They're perfectly fine. They're not. There's nothing to. There's no strikes. Just placing a finger here, putting a. You all know the PPCT stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so we show them some good stuff that they can use on certain things that that jiu-jitsu is just not going to work all the time. And we get a pretty hot call on a woman, and she's wild. I mean, absolutely ready to fight. She goes in the house. We go in after her finally, and she's in the room. I was like, hey, I pulled off whoever was with us. I was like, let him go to work. And it was quite comical. Just because he knew what to do that I showed him to get. It was one of those deals where the arms were underneath her body. And there's some moves like, putting a pressure point, behind the ear or something
Fish
like
hook.
that. Fish, whatever. Whatever you need to do to get, not fish hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Double fish.
No, but instead of doing the move, the comical part of it is he was just like, pressure point, pressure point, pressure point. I was like, well, do the pressure point. It's a pressure point. He knew. Yeah, it's just one of them deals where, what can I do? And you got 1,000 things going through your mind, and it's fine after that, but.
I'm gonna blame the
funny
academy for all of that nonsense, because all the times that you have to yell out what you're doing in the academy, maybe
What
they
are you
need to
doing?
do that.
Especially
kind of-
when you're new. I mean,
And especially when you've never been taught that.
Yeah.
The only class you got was about a 3-minute, like, hey, check this out.
do this.
yeah, this hurts. This also hurts.
So it was funny. It was just comical just to see. Instead of doing the move, he was calling it out and just standing there screaming in somebody's
It was in there
ear.
somewhere rattling around.
He was close. It was so funny. I hope he's listening. He'll get a kick out of it because
Yeah, I don't know if they.
it's funny.
I don't know if they listen or not.
But it was a great time training people and just seeing all the dumb mistakes people make. Because I made them too.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and that was a good squad we had. I'm trying to think of anything else.
Well, I knew we were in trouble. I think it was our first week working together. That's when I knew I had all the crab magnets because we had little Joey.
Yeah,
I think we were eating it like Frisch's or something. And we get a call, a guy at a grocery store acting weird.
yeah.
So Joey's like, yeah, I'll go get it. Yeah. So he jumps up and takes off, and 5 minutes later, we're sitting there, and he's like, "Guys ramming my car. I've got one at gunpoint."
Yeah.
And then from there, it was, I think the next weekend, they got in a pursuit and wrecked through a church garden.
Well, if you remember, and I've still got the video somewhere, I'll have to find it. The same call of the guy ramming Joey's car.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go back that night because he had a passenger with him. And
They locked him in the bathroom.
They locked him in the bathroom because he got in there and went and shot up. And then you had to take him to jail.
That's right. Yeah.
But he was serenading you while he was on the way back.
I've still got that.
Do you?
Yeah. He was taking requests.
He was
awesome.
wasn't
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Wasn't bad.
I didn't mind it at all.
That's fun stuff.
That was my year, though.
That was had to be a fun time.
Were you working when he had the car run from him
Which time?
that he wasn't even chasing?
Oh yes, the one that wrecked out in the graveyard.
No, well, not even that one. That was a different one. The one over by North Middle that hit the tree.
Oh no! Oh yes, I was working that night. Yeah,
Joey was the worst. It's like this stuff just happened to him, and he wouldn't even be doing anything. He was driving down the road one night,
I forgot about that.
and this car passes him, and Joey just kind of, gives him a second look. Well, they gun it, go in the opposite direction. So he turns over, he tries to flip on it, and he's talking. I can't remember who he's talking to. He's like, "You might want to head this way." Well, not 20 seconds later, he's like, "Dispatch, send me everybody." Well, this car had
It's a great impersonation.
So I get there. He may have been talking to me because we were hitting up one of the poker machine gas stations, Parkway Market. It was pretty hopping that night, and I was heading that way anyways. And I think I lived over there at that point in time. Maybe I don't think I'd moved yet.
Yeah.
So
you lived in yeah.
So I get over there, and it is a catastrophe. I mean, I get over and I'm looking at the driver. The driver's conscious, but I'm like their heads are through windows. I mean, it's crashed.
It had peeled off the roof. The driver was on top of the passenger, on the passenger side, leaning out the car.
Blood. I mean,
remember
it's yeah.
What? But was he? Did they just wreck in front of him, or what?
They thought. So he was coming. He was going to the gas station to check to run tags and check. Well, they see him as he's coming, and when they see him, tap his brakes to kind of give the car a second glance, they take off. Well, that big, the big hump on that road, they went off road on it, and it pushed them. They went airborne, and then they plowed a tree.
I think they were wrecked before Joey got turned around on them.
Yeah, they were wrecked way before then, and then he got up. Then I got up there, and I remember saying, looking at Joe, and I was like, "They're both dead," and both of them lived somehow.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but I was like, one of them.
They were dead.
One of them was unconscious, had to cut her out.
Wow.
And then the other one, he was talking, but I was like, he's not. They get him out of there, he's a goner. And then, but they ended up both living. Still don't know to this day what they were running for. I don't know.
We never did find anything in the car.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, he's definitely a poop magnet.
He can do it. You got it in a lot. I mean, you and Jordan and and Huggy in the first part.
We were new, yeah.
Y'all were always in something too, though. It's just the way. And me, me and Danny were always, when we came along, it was me, Danny, and Rodney Van Zant were hired, and we were always in some kind of mess.
But that's how it goes. You've got different types of officers. You've got officers that want to come out and they want to answer calls, and that's it. They just want to do that, Then you've got officers that want to work traffic, and that's all they want to do. And then you've got officers that want to go out and be Batman, basically, and do that stuff. And that's kind of what we all were. Is we wanted to be. We wanted crime as we saw it was not like petty traffic and stuff. It's like if I stopped a car, any of us, if we stopped a car, it's like who cares what the initial thing was? I'm looking for you got your dope, what you got warrants, you got
That's part of it.
I used to preach.
Y'all was doing it. You all were interdiction. It just
well, and I'll say this: if you are not going beyond the traffic stop, you're wasting your time.
I agree.
You're not helping anybody.
I used to preach to the new guys, if you want to get into stuff, get to that call first. As quick as you can. Get to that call, and
See
a
what
lot
happens.
of times, I mean, you'll get into stuff.
Yep. That's always. First, if you can get there quick, if you can get there before everybody else, that's when your foot chases happen. That's when
So many of them.
That's when the it's also dangerous, especially on domestics. Me and Alan Harris, we went on a call, and we seen this guy was beating. This woman. I can't remember, man or woman. They were fighting. I mean, it was awful. We're just looking in the window like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. So I ran back to kick, and as I was coming forward, Alan just turned the doorknob, and it was open. Everybody looked at each other. I was like, So we just kind of looked at each other. So Alan starts laughing at me for a second, and then we went to work. He's like, you idiot. I was like, I didn't even think about checking the door.
Stole your thunder there.
I know. I was like, man, I'm used to this.
You want to be the hero.
This is some high speed Belgium stuff I learned.
That reminds me of a complaint when I finally went to day shift, which was a terrible, awful mistake, and I would recommend nobody ever do it. But we went to it was another domestic or something. It was at one of the trailer parks. It was those brothers that always fought. You remember
Middle Ground Way?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've ever had to kick a trailer door, and it's harder than you think.
They're elastic.
Yeah. So I'm horse kicking this thing, and like the bottom of it just bends in, so I'm having and it's on stairs, so it's reminiscent of James trying to ram that door. On that,
Oh, yeah.
But I finally get it kicked in. And I open the door, and the guy's just sitting there eating a bowl of Fruit Loops, looking at me.
That
He's like,
took
"That
you a
took you
while."
long enough."
Just knocked. I'd open it for you.
We did. Nobody would come to the door.
Man,
But
we used to go out there a lot.
Yeah, he was a turd. I think the last time I was out there, I ended up just arresting both of them
It solved a lot of
for that day.
problems. Yeah. Oh my gosh, guys, we've done just some wild stuff that we've done and seen, and I don't know. It's hard to explain to people. You hear these stories, you're like, I remember that, or I heard bits and pieces of your stories. But just like, gosh.
And I'm sure we're forgetting a lot of them.
I know.
I mean,
But it just gets, it gets
probably
crazy.
90%.
yeah.
But the good thing is, we'll have you back, and then you'll think of something else.
Yeah, we'll all think. I've got a list written down on my phone that I've been trying to go through, and I'll read one and it'll jog another, and so.
There's so much. I wish, because you always hear the older guys tell you, to keep a journal.
Yeah, I've told
Should
you.
have done it.
I think you're the
I
only
think
one that
we've
did.
talked about that with just about every guest that's been on here that they've mentioned. Said everybody said, do a journal, and I midway through my career is when I started writing stuff down. So there's a lot of stuff that I forgot, and there's a bunch of stuff from Richie's episode that, like, later that day I was like, hey, you remember that? He's like, oh my gosh, yeah. It's like, well, how did we forget that? Yeah. So
That's the cool thing about it is, and we've said this 100 times, but I'd like to get 3 or 4 of us all together and do this too, and then, just have some.
if we ever get a studio set up,
because it sparks something like, oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
there, and that's not how that went down. I'll tell you how it went down. That's what.
and
that's
maybe
the cool
that's
stuff.
how we need to start going forward, and our audience might like that, is having multiple guys here that can bounce stories back and forth off of each other, and because I'm sure Joey remembered a bunch of stuff that I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's fun.
So
Joey.
little
I'm sure
Johnny.
that'll be a good one.
Yeah, we'll
It
get
will
that
be,
back up because it's
yeah.
fun.
I've got I could piece it out, but
No, we just need
let's
to
do
redo it.
another one with him, and then I'll add
Won't we have
bonus.
Won't we
reel.
have the squad here?
We could. Well, we can have partial.
Yeah, we
partial.
can have some.
You, Jake and Joe and you, and then I was the
Well, it was, I mean,
I was the lieutenant over that.
Me, Flash, and Joey were the main ones.
That's true. Yeah.
There were some people that didn't always want to participate.
Yeah.
And I think some of the corporals we had didn't want to play our reindeer games.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't blame them, right? But whatever.
They were out having fun. They worked.
Yeah. We were changing lives and making a difference.
Everything's safer now.
Is it?
I don't think so.
I don't know how safe
I think
it
it's
was then
worse.
either.
Small blip on the screen. That was about it.
We want to end this one now, or think of something?
I
What we
think,
got to do?
unless you've got something else you remember. I mean, we'll go
Like
as
you
long
said,
as,
yeah. I'll have to sit and think.
That's the cool part. This is like therapy, and bringing this stuff up and being around each other because we don't get to see each other all the time. So it's cool to bring everybody back and see everybody. It's fun.
Well, I listened to all your other ones, and even them telling stories jogs memories.
Yeah,
Which I
it's-
do have to make a correction with Danny's story.
Which one?
The snowball fight.
Okay.
He attacked us unprovoked. He left that out, first of all.
Of course he did.
And the major part of the story that he left out was by the time we got to his house, he answered the door in his tidy whities.
Of course. of course.
And yes, he did sick his dog on us.
Yeah, I know he did.
You're lucky that
So
he
I
was in
wanted
tidy
that.
whities.
Yeah. The guy.
Danny has a tendency to get naked.
I didn't know if I was wondering if he'd bring up some of our Dare golf trips, and it's sad. Dare
So
golf
that
trips.
that reminds me of something.
Probably
Before we end it, Danny lost his off-duty weapon
Yep,
in his golf bag
I remember
Yes.
that.
on that one of them trips.
on one of those trips. Lost it for years.
Yep,
Had to do
I remember
a
that.
Stolen gun.
stolen gun report and everything. And then we had a golf scramble again, and he found it in his bag
Yeah.
where it had been the entire time.
I love it. I remember that. So
Yeah, I got a lot of love for Danny. He stayed in the chief's office over us for a while there. He got all the new guys.
yeah, it was fun.
That's a pattern.
It is.
But honestly, if you don't wind up in the chief's office or you're not getting in trouble, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
You're not, because I mean, if you're not trying to bend the rules enough to get the job done, then you're not doing it right.
I never got caught. I'm lying. I can't even do that with a straight face.
I didn't get called in that much. They didn't like talking to me. They didn't like my opinion. the
No,
most part.
I get called in on you.
After
Be like,
the
you need to
stoplight.
have a chat.
Yeah,
Be like, you need to have a chat with him. Okay.
yeah.
Nah.
They after the memo, they didn't really care for my opinion anymore.
I think that's the main reason you got your vacation.
I think so too. I think it was coming around.
They've
It
been
was-
looking
They've
for a
been
reason.
waiting.
Yeah, they said, "Ha, we got him."
Got it. That's funny. Good times.
Good times.
We'll
Well,
do it again.
Yep. Thanks for coming on. I enjoyed it. I think we've reminisced on some of the major stories, anyways. But
I'm sure I'll think of 100 more
oh yeah, I
as soon
will
as I
too.
leave here.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool
do
part.
another
We'll
one.
do another.
I think that's a good idea, though. We get Joey and you back on here, and then we can.
I think
Go
we're
back
going
to
to make
Hill.
a trip.
Yeah.
I think we're going to make a trip to Danville. I've got some people over there I'm wanting to chit chat with anyway on
Oh, yeah.
Merle and some of them guys over there that said they'd do it. So I know we
Todd would
need
be a good one.
Todd. I'm love to get Todd. I know John's already. He said he's going to come on, and
John would be a good one.
then I'm sure there's several more that we like. You'll be okay. It'll be all right. There's forgiveness if you ask.
I don't ask.
So it'll be good. It'll be good. So we may do something cool over in Danville. Have some fun. So until next time, guys, we'll cut it here before it gets too dangerous.
Yeah. Catch us on the next one.
She's my only one. Almost time on earth was through. She She must face this world without me. It's all love I gave her in the past. Gonna be enough to last. If tomorrow never comes.